Welcome back to the Policy Podcast. Another 2 weeks have gone by fairly quickly, and we're back with another podcast. Me, host, Nico All Powerful. You, co-host.
Me, host. Excited Apollo.
Caveman Fire Good.
Yeah.
International Women's Day. I that's way too many words for a caveman to know. Oh well.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're back. We're recording this on Friday, March 8th, 2019. But yeah, so nothing really too prepared. Not a lot of comments from what I could tell on anything. So we're going to have to kind of just wing it, which, I mean, if that's the case, it shouldn't be that hard because, you know, we've played games. We've done things. We've done stuff. We got things to talk about. So how are you doing? You got a little sniffle action going. You feeling all right?
Oh, it's because I sneezed. I sneezed like 3 times in a row, so now I'm just like
Oh, the faucet turned
dripping.
on.
Yeah,
It sucks.
yeah, I know. So I'm good.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I got new glasses, so my eyesight is a little like I'm getting used to them, so everything's a little
Nice.
weird, but they look good and I like them.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Not a sponsor, but Zennies.com, if you guys need glasses, cheap as hell. The frames I bought, like all together with the lenses, and I got blue light blockers in my lenses, and they're like
Oh wow.
HD quote unquote lenses. They're basically a better material. They're a lighter material, and if you have really bad eyes like I do, your lenses start to get really thick. But Zennies.com, not a sponsor again, though I would love it if you guys were. Very, like, if I were to go to the eye doctor, like when I did and get my glasses, it would have cost me like $500 cash after insurance. This place, barely like 90 something dollars.
Nice.
Yeah, the frames themselves are like $6. Like, I don't know why I've ever bought glasses at a doctor's office. It's a scam. It's a goddamn scam.
Yeah, of course it is.
But yeah, so we do have one comment that I'd like to get out of the way on the last episode about Apex Legends is awesome, question mark. It's from Lawrence's Sad Send Love. He says, what are your thoughts on the Frozen 2 trailer? I blanked in the first minute. I'm gonna leave out what he said because it's kind of crass and very vulgar.
Oh.
And I'll have you know, I went to the movies last night. The Frozen 2 trailer came on. I was like, and I went pee and came back right as it ended. So I haven't seen it yet.
Look, I haven't even seen the Game of Thrones trailer. You think I'm gonna go see the Frozen 2 trailer?
I've purposely avoided the Game of Thrones trailers.
I mean, I just don't see trailers. I don't know. I don't think I would have known about Frozen 2 unless you said something about it.
I mean, why would I say anything about it?
I don't know, like jokingly. I don't remember who told me about it.
Oh.
Yeah. So, hope that answers your question.
No, we did not. We don't care. I don't care. I don't hate.
And I'm pretty sure you don't care either. So, yeah.
I hate Frozen. I mean, it's fine that everybody likes it. I get it. But man, I only don't like it because I worked in retail. And after, like, even a year after it was out and on DVD and Blu-ray, I'm like, we're still getting Frozen shit. I'm like, oh my God, I hate it. I don't care about you, Elsa. Just please stop.
Be brave like Elsa.
God, that was a good thing. That made you die the first time I said that.
Because it's just so funny.
But yeah. So, on to the next thing. Because I don't have any tweets or anything other than... Nope, T-Rex didn't send anything because that's the last podcast we did. All right, so yeah. So, Apex. I figured we could start there again since it's been 2 weeks since the last podcast, 2 weeks since we've been playing it. And usually at this point, if we talked about a PR game, we're like, nah, it's a PR game. It sucks now. We hate it.
Yeah.
But surprise, surprise, guess who's streaming it tonight again?
Yeah, it's fun. And I've gotten better at it, so which only makes it more fun. So
There's gonna be a point where you
it's just, it's like a game where you don't have to commit too much, and you just shooting the shit with your friends as you're looting and killing enemy squads. Like, it's just fun.
I think then there's short matches. The longest, the longest one I've seen, got the hiccups, is 22 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that's the longest one we've been in. So it's not even like a huge time commitment either.
No, or you can just leave if you have.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those games where it's just fun to play with friends, and it's not like it's a groundbreaking game, like it's not like a wow. It's just like, it's just good.
Yeah, it's just good, and it's like that's
fun.
That's how it stands apart from like other games. It's like it knows what it wants to do, and it does it really well.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, you can't. But good Lord, oh man, you can't. Fuck it. I'm not even gonna try to say what I was gonna say because I can't get the words out for it.
Just use your words.
I'm trying, but I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say for some reason. But yeah, I like it a lot, which is just surprising. To be fair, the movement in the game is so good. Being able to just slide down hills and shit.
Yeah.
There's also, for whatever reason, crouching in the middle of a gunfight is extremely strong. People always get thrown off by it.
Yeah, we just we just finished playing before the podcast.
Yeah.
There's many times where I'm just like, you know what? I was reloading and I was like, I'm just gonna crouch and see what happens, and they miss all because people are going for headshots all the time.
Yeah.
So they don't expect you to crouch because not a lot of people do that. They usually just run around or slide or.
Yeah.
So.
It completely throws people's aims off because they just don't expect you to press your C key, I guess, which is fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I press.
I like to press control a lot. I don't know.
C is more natural for me. I don't know why.
Because I do control with my pinky in like basically every game, and if I go to C, I have to use my pointer finger, so I take it off W, and I don't want to do that. So that's why I think my pinky just stays on control for the most part, or near shift, so it's really easy for me. I don't know. Also, when the Black Ops 3 was a thing on PC, control was also how you slid in that game back when they were still doing the jump pack shit. So yeah. But yeah, game's still good. Have you played anything else new that you? Oh wait, yeah, you did.
Well, I played XCOM.
Yeah, I mean it's not new, but it's new to you.
It's not new. No, yeah, I streamed it, and it was really difficult. So I'm actually thinking about going back and playing on the easiest level.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been getting into turn-based like combat strategy games. Been pretty fun.
Yeah, because there's even people in chat like, oh man, he's playing on veteran his first time.
Yeah.
That which tells you a lot about the game. If people are like, he played on normal and he's never played this before.
Yeah. Veteran, it's deceiving though. Veteran is normal.
Yeah, that's not the hard difficulty. It's the normal difficulty.
Yeah.
Recruits.
There's like, and then what is it? Expert and then expert plus.
Something like that. And unless, did they? No. Man, I keep forgetting. No, Iron Man is a setting. Never mind. There's an Iron Man setting that you disables or something. It changes how the game works. Basically, I don't remember exactly what Iron Man does, but it can if you were like, oh, I need the hardest experience ever, then I think it disables saving in combat whatsoever. Like once you're in a mission.
Okay.
Which prevents saves coming.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, you're not playing the expansion either. You're just doing the base game, which is easier than the expansion, in my opinion.
Yeah. I just wanted to beat it and then move on to the expansion.
Well, the expansion it revamps the entire story mode from the beginning.
Oh.
Yeah, it completely changes.
Well, do you recommend playing the expansion?
I mean, it's great. It's really good. You get new units to control that have different abilities. They introduced 3 bosses that are really hard, though, that can invade in your missions at any point in time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like there's like a whole resistance operations that you have to do instead of just like there are 3 different factions that get added that are like not civilian run, but they're not XCOM run resistance factions that you can send like your soldiers out on resistance ops to like stop the progress of the main mission. Like because you haven't gotten that far into the game, I don't want to like say a bunch of stuff, but there's like different things that you can do. But it literally goes, here's the base game. Let's throw more shit on top of that and expand other things and
That's
make
cool.
it more.
Well, maybe I should just play the expansion then.
You could. It's just not gonna be easy.
Well, I'll just play on the easiest level.
That's true. It also changes the cutscenes. Like it adds cutscenes, so the
Oh,
beginning
wow.
cutscene is completely different as well.
Jeez, that's cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like it's a true expansion. It's not just like a DLC.
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is beat that and then try the mutant Year Zero
Oh.
Road to Eden,
Yeah,
which looks really cool.
yeah.
Which basically is the same thing, but with little woodland creatures.
Well, mutants,
Mutant.
mutant
Yeah.
people and creatures.
But it's like a pig and a duck and a girl, I think.
I think she has frog legs or something. I don't remember.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like I think she can jump really high. I don't know. But apparently their interactions while on missions and stuff, like you can hear NPCs talking while you're sneaking and haven't been spotted yet, and like it's really good and atmospheric apparently.
That's cool. It looks really cool.
Yeah. Which, by the way, also not a sponsor. It's in the Humble monthly bundle right now.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what I saw Humble tweet out.
Damn.
Yeah,
Well, I need to get it.
I was just saying, you could also be like, hey, Humble, guess who I am? Maybe you don't even have to buy it. I don't know. Just a thought.
I mean, I'll just buy it.
Oh, God, you're so adverse.
Just buy it.
This
Yeah, look
man
at
will
that.
never take a free thing in his life. People at the store are like, hey, plate of cheeses. He's like, how much are these cheeses? They're free. No, how much are the cheeses? Don't lie to me.
Tell me how much the cheeses are.
I'm going to give you $5 for that one square of cheese. And they're like, it's one square. Here's a $5. And then you take a cheese and then you walk away. They're like, I don't know what to do with this.
How much is the Humble Bundle?
The monthly bundle, it's a subscribe and save thing.
Oh, subscribe for 12 months. $12 a month.
I mean, you unlock everything in that month. Like, I don't think it's like a subscription service where if you're like, oh, don't renew, that you don't get it afterward. Like, it's still your games because you have to activate
Yeah,
them
I'll
on
just buy it.
Steam. Oh, man. I mean, I guess if you don't want the other games, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't want them. Yeah, I don't.
Okay. Well, then there you go.
Yeah, just buy it.
Yeah, we'll just buy it. I'll just buy it.
I just buy it.
All right. And then I haven't played anything new. I've actually been bored waiting on anything to catch my interest. I've been replaying some Binding of Isaac, getting challenge unlocks, but meh, that's
You don't
not.
think you'll play Mutant?
Is it? I mean, it's been out for a while, and I just haven't had any real interest to get it.
Yeah, that's true.
Mutant, is that even?
It's only single player too.
Yeah. Well, so is. I mean, XCOM isn't. I mean, it has multiplayer, but it's not like true multiplayer.
Yeah, I want a turn-based game like that, but co-op or something.
Yeah, that would be cool, but I don't know why it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why it's hard. Just have 4 heroes or whatever, and each person controls 2 of them.
Or just multiple squads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, I might play it at some point, but right now it's not on my
Not something.
top. Yeah, it's not on my list of things, especially because
Yeah.
the Division 2 comes out on Friday, but I have an edition that I can play on Tuesday, so I'm going to be playing that when that unlocks because I like the first game a lot because I have 300 hours in it, which is
Nice.
baby numbers compared to some people
Yeah.
because they have like thousands of hours, and I'm like, not that addicted. But so I'll be playing that, and I'm just kind of waiting till Tuesday, really.
Yeah.
And then I'll be playing that, and everybody who's like, ew, the Division can suck my left nut. That's how I really feel. So
Do you get a lot of that?
I mean, a lot of people say that. They're like, ew, it's like, it's a gross game. Ew. I mean, I don't know that they sound exactly like that, but that's how I hear their voice whenever they say it. Which is, I mean, the game came out and it had problems. The first game still has some problems, but it's way better than it was when it first released. And they've been like making announcements and news for the Division 2 with how much stuff is in the game at launch. And literally, once you get to level 30, there's a fortress you can do that you can't do until you reach level 30 and beat the story missions. And once you do that fortress, an entirely new faction moves into Washington, D.C., takes over a bunch of control points, and revamps missions you already did with them in charge, and starts taking over certain sections, and it becomes like a revolving thing of where you constantly have to beat them out of secure locations as they try to take them over and stuff. So from
That's
like
cool.
your experience after you reach max level is legitimately supposed to be different than when you're leveling up. Which that usually isn't the case in most games. Most of them are like, all right, you leveled all the way up. Now just grind some shit, instead of being like, oh, hey, here's a whole bunch of other missions and stuff that you couldn't have done until you were at this point anyway. So I'm excited because the first game was literally level 1 to 30 was really cool. And then you hit 30 in the beginning. You're like, I guess I'll run around the dark zone and shoot people that don't want a PvP. And that was it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, don't listen to other people, you know?
Oh, I never do. That's why I listen to Kesha.
There you go.
Speaking of, you know what? Actually, have we talked about music on the podcast at all?
Probably.
I don't remember like specifically talking about music. Because now that I said that,
could've.
I want to talk about it.
Okay, go for it.
I want to talk about some music real quick.
Okay.
So when I was in high school, I was afraid to listen. Not high school, because that's about time where I stopped caring. When I was in like middle school or whatever, I was afraid to listen to certain music because I thought someone would make fun of me. How they would know I was listening to it, I don't know. But my prepubescent to pubescent brain was like, if you listen to My Chemical Romance, somebody's going to beat you up for it.
What?
I can't rationalize it. I just was like, I wanted to listen to My Chemical Romance. Not even because I was like an emo kid. I just did. I'd heard some of their songs on MTV, throwback to when MTV still played music. And I was like, I want to listen to their music. But then I was like, every time I saw their CD in Best Buy, I was like, what if somebody makes fun of me?
Wow.
That stayed with me for a long time until like late high school, and I was like, who the fuck cares? I think it was do you remember Clayton?
Yeah.
I think he was my inspiration for not giving a shit about what anybody thought.
Because of Fall Out Boy?
Oh, yeah, him and Sam and everybody were like, oh, Fall Out Boy is awesome. And I was like, what? Wait, if all of the metalhead guys just went Fall Out Boy rocks, then why the hell am I being like so what the word is it? Self-conscious about the music I listen to,
Yeah.
So past that point, like them embracing music other than just metal, because for the longest time when I knew them, there was just Black Dahlia Murder and Job for a Cowboy and not really Slipknot. That wasn't really their shtick, but whatever, all these like metal bands. They're like, oh, Fall Out Boy and fucking I don't know, some other stuff that I don't remember off the top of my head.
They like Kesha. They liked Kanye.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm allowed to listen to other music without worrying about my immediate friend group being like, oh, you listen to that? Like none of them ever did that. So I was like, cool. And that's when I started to listen to what I like to call as slut pop.
Slut pop.
So early Kesha's very like, oh, give me that dick, pop music, in the club, drinks and stuff. And she doesn't do that anymore because she actually really doesn't like that music. She's kind of switched to almost country-ish music because she actually likes to sing and not just have her voice auto-tuned. So I like both, but I like her slut pop more. But basically, slut pop is just pop music where the girl's like, choke me, daddy, and let's do drugs. And that's about it. Like, that's what I call slut pop. I don't think it's an actual, like, subgenre of pop music. I mean, it exists. There's multiple girls or multiple artists that do that, but I've just dubbed it slut pop. And I love sluts, so it makes sense. I would wear a shirt that says I love sluts on it unabashedly. And be like, no, equal rights sluts. I don't know what that means. I might need to edit that out.
But hey, you know, that's yeah.
Because like, I mean, when like recently, Tove Lo, she's Swedish. I listened to her. A bunch of her stuff is like, let me do drugs. I'm gonna have sex with boys and girls. Yeah. I'm like, hell yeah. These songs are catchy as shit. And Halsey. And I just don't care anymore. I'm just like, I'm gonna listen to whatever I feel like listening to. If it's metal, cool. If it's not, whatever.
That's I mean, that's my taste in music has changed, and
yeah,
I don't.
I was gonna say, you used to be a huge Nirvana head.
Yeah, I used to like grunge a lot, but you know, just people grow out of stuff. I don't ever listen to grunge really anymore.
See, I've never grown out of it. Like, I can go back and listen to the music that I liked back then, and if I'm into it, I'm like, hell yeah. Like, it still does it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I could still enjoy it, but like, I don't know, music, like, I don't really go out and like listen to music that much.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird. Like, I just don't care about music as much as I used to. So I'll just like listen to whatever. But Brittany's like gotten really into country, so I've been listening to a lot of country, which I hated country in high school. But
I still don't think I like
I don't really like the rap country. I don't know, like Georgia Florida Line. Like, I don't know if you've heard of them.
I've heard of them, but I don't like country, I don't listen to it.
Well, there's a band called Midland, which is it's more of a like traditional country, like a older like Dolly Parton.
Oh, okay.
Country kind of. So I mean, but yeah, I that's crazy. I had no idea that you. I mean, I get that in high school though, because like it was high school's so lame. I hated high school so much.
It's very cliquey too.
Yeah, and it's like you got to listen to this to be. It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
You know.
Because, like, the weird thing is like, because growing up, you always think the goth kids are into that weird, like, that dark, heavy shit. And then I, like, talk to one of the goth kids, like, that's in, like, you know, the goth circle, like, the actual circle of goth kids. And they're like, oh, no, we listen to System of a Down, and that's about it, and Slipknot. I'm like, wait, you're telling me in the circle of metalheads that'll wear fucking pink and unicorns and shit because we don't care about anything. And instead of you guys being like, we gotta wear chains and these weird baggy parachute pant things, you guys don't listen to heavier shit than we do. And we're over here being like, Clayton wore a tank top or a V-neck like so deep that he got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
And he was a thin dude. Like, for him to be like, for a teacher or an administrator to be like, that's too much. It was like a lot because he was pretty skinny.
Yeah.
And it's like a really deep V with a unicorn on it. And like, he's listening to some of the heaviest shit I had ever been recommended in my entire life.
Yeah. I mean, it was more of like a hipster thing.
Well, yeah, but I think honestly, some of them just didn't give a shit. They were like, look, I mean,
well, that's what it is. It's kind of like, I don't give a shit. Let me prove it to you, kind of thing. To me, that's how I felt like it was. Yeah. Like, look at me, I don't give a shit. In a way, meaning you give a shit.
Oh, I don't know.
What I mean?
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I don't. That's just what I got from the Rude Boys, as they call themselves.
They did call themselves the Rude Boys, which is weird because not many of them were rude.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some rude
Clayton
boys.
Was really nice. Clayton's really nice.
He was always a really chill dude, yeah.
Yeah, he was really nice.
If he somehow listens to this, Trent and I still think you're a really cool dude.
I haven't seen him in forever.
Neither have I. Sometimes he'll tweet like every once in a while, and I still follow him on Twitter, but it's very like months in between tweets. So I would be extremely surprised if he ever heard this, but if he did,
Yeah,
thumbs up.
the last time I saw him was like I saw him at a concert.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Then it was Mac DeMarco.
huh?
Oh, he is some indie artist, and me and Brittany went, and then I look over and I see Clayton and the Rude Boys, and I'm like, oh.
What up,
So
Rude
that
Boys?
was kind of fun, but yeah.
Huh?
Anyways,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just for the longest time I was like, I cared way too much about what people would think about the music I listened to, and now I don't care at all. I've listened like
yeah.
I went, I don't. Did you have a weird spell in college where you went through and listened to dubstep at all?
I did that in high school.
Oh, you did it in high school?
I listened to dubstep in high school, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, not like all the time, but like
Yeah.
I'd occasionally put it on. I don't really want to call it dubstep though. It wasn't dubstep. It was just I listened to a lot of techno.
Okay. Was it just like
Yeah.
electronic
Just like
music with
Daft Punk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
and-
yeah, Daft Punk. I don't think they ever did any dubsteppy stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so I shouldn't say I really listen to dubstep,
But you had that you had that spell where you're like, I'm gonna get into electronic music.
yeah. I mean, I still listen to Daft Punk.
Yeah. I mean, aren't they just considered like a good good artists just in general?
Yeah, they're just like techno rock, I guess.
But I just like my first semester of college, I was like, oh, people are getting into dubstep. Let's see what this is about. And I'm not gonna lie. I listened to a lot of Skrillex that first semester of college. Entirely too much Skrillex.
Yeah,
And I just
no shame in that.
yeah, I just don't care anymore. I like there's bands I've what is it? Working at Target, the fucking since I was in the electronics area, I would hear all of the ads and all of the new music, quote unquote new music that is out. And there were actually a few artists that I've started to listen to because of that stuff. Like there's this group called AJR. It's three brothers. They record in their parents' vacation home out of New York, like in the living room, and it's like they the way they describe themselves is like, yeah, if we didn't do what we wanted to do, we'd be just a shittier version of the Chainsmokers.
Which are great.
Yeah, which is amazing, by the way. I don't know because I don't listen to the Chainsmokers.
I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, I
their
know.
hit
I
song.
know. Yeah, like two of their hit songs, but I've never gone and went, you know what? I'm gonna check them out this time. But AJR is really good. I like them a lot. They have a lot of really cool songs. One of their songs is about growing up, watching The Office, and linking certain episodes to events in his life growing up. So there's a whole thing where he's like, my grandpa died in season 6, and like he goes through how his mom was like really sad and everything, and it's like I'm like, man, this is like that song hits me in a spot I didn't expect because it reminds me of like how you can like it really is sometimes like people are like, oh, it's just Netflix, you just watch shows, but it's like no, some of that stuff really ingrains itself into your mind because of events going on around you during the time you watch it.
Oh yeah, I mean like even like with Simpsons and The Office, like when it stop saying like when it ends and you hear the credit music, I get a feeling of dread because that means it's Sunday or it's the end of the day and tomorrow is school.
Oh wow.
Because the shows come out at night. I don't think The Office is much because didn't it come on like on a Thursday or something?
I don't remember off the top.
I
of
don't
my head.
remember. But Simpsons would always come on Sunday. And when I was younger, it was like the last like we hung out as a family because my dad, when he worked, he'd always travel somewhere and only be home on the weekends. And we would watch The Simpsons. And as soon as you hear the like credits, and then it's like, oh, it's time for bed.
I gotta get
It's
gotta
Sunday
brush my
night.
teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, got to go to school Monday.
Ugh.
And so now when I hear the music, like, you know, the classic Simpsons theme song with the credits and
Yeah.
and it ends with that like they're in the theater and the person's like shh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like it little things like that just like I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It brings back that feeling of like, oh, I have to go to school.
Man. Yeah. Or fucking oh man. What jeez. I was watching something at some point. Just like in general, media, it's just there's a whole genre of music I don't listen to because of memories it brings up. I'm just
Oh
like,
yeah,
ugh,
yeah,
no thanks.
yeah.
Can't do it.
A lot of yeah. I listen to a lot of like sad stuff in high school, and then when I listen to it again, it puts you right back into that feeling. You know.
Yeah, it's
And it's like, oh,
ugh,
please.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking God, what was I gonna say? Oh, there's something I wanted to actually say, but now I forgot. No. Fucking one of like this is kind of. I mean, it's I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but just like growing up watching the X-Men movies, and then like Logan came out 2 years, 3 years ago at this point. 2 years, I don't know. It's been way longer than I fucking thought. The end of that movie. The movie itself is pretty depressing and just in general, but the ending crushes my soul in a way that I didn't expect and still don't expect. I've seen the movie 3 times and I can't watch it that often. I love the movie to death and think if people are like, oh, I don't know if I like superhero movies that much. I'm like, watch Logan. Like, it's like a Western that happens to star a superhero character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's, because people are like legitimately put it up there with like The Dark Knight and stuff in like superhero movies. And I'm like, I love it. But when I watch it, I literally get depressed for like a week or more because I'm like, this is the ending chapter of part of my childhood. Like a part of my childhood ended with this movie because Hugh Jackman was like, yeah, no more Wolverine for me. And I'm like, I did not expect that to do anything to me. And it's like a stamp like that just went like part of you died that day. And I'm like, oh, I felt that. I didn't want to feel that.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah. It's like end of a I don't know, time phase.
Like, it feels like something is like there's a part of me that is like over. Like it's just gone now. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I really aren't a kid anymore. Which when Allie was talking to me, she's like, that's how I felt seeing the last Harry Potter movie. Because I wasn't huge into Harry Potter, but she was. And she's like, yeah, coming out of that theater, it felt like that was like a stamp on the end of like one of the like things where it's like checked off. It's like, yep, your childhood is ending. And I'm like, God, and I because of that, I still don't watch, like, I love it, but I've watched it 3 times and I don't plan to watch it anytime soon because I'm not depressed right now. So I don't need to feel sad like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also when you're depressed, it probably doesn't help to watch depressing things.
It doesn't, but for whatever reason, your brain's like, you should watch
it. Feels right.
Yeah. Your brain's like, you should watch this. I'm like, yeah, I should. And then you do, and you're like, this was a bad idea. Your brain's like, yeah, but don't you feel good about it? No. And you're like, oh, crap. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, music. And speaking of music, I didn't even know this, but the Cranberries, the lead singer died.
Yeah. That happened.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. She passed away a little bit ago, maybe a year, 2.
January.
Oh, wait. Last year?
Wait, was it? I don't know.
I think it was last year because there's a band that covered Zombie, and in their cover, the singer of Cranberries was supposed to come in and record with them on the chorus, like as a collaboration, but she passed away before the recording can take place.
Jesus, I didn't even know. Where was I? But anyways,
I don't know.
That was one of the bands I listened to a lot in high school, and it was just like, Brittany didn't know either. My girlfriend, she came down. She's like, the lead singer of the Cranberries dead? I'm like, what? When did this happen? But yeah, apparently she accidental drowning. She just had too much alcohol and drowned in a tub.
Oh, damn.
Bathtub. Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah. I didn't know that happened.
Like,
I just knew she had passed away.
Yeah.
Damn.
But that and like Chris Cornell and then the Linkin Park guy.
Chester, yeah.
Yeah. There's some suspicious stuff around that, but
but
not to go full conspiracy, but it's a little suspicious.
Yeah. But no matter what, suspicions or, just bad like mentally in bad places. Either way, it's
Yeah.
not good.
Oh yeah.
Because the shitty thing is like people are always like, but they have so much money. It's like it doesn't matter how much money you have. You can still be depressed. In fact, a lot of people say when you have a lot of money, it's easier to become depressed because you're like, what do I do with this? This doesn't help me become happy.
Yeah. I mean, that's like that Jim Carrey quote. Forgot what he said. Like he said he wished everyone could be rich and famous to realize that it's not the answer.
Yeah.
Or something. Because money
Jim
and
Carrey's
fame-
woke.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know.
Yeah, which is true. I mean, like, I think day to day, just like having friends and social interaction and people you love.
Yeah.
I mean, money's nice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There was a study that showed that the person who made $100,000 compared to someone who makes $1 million,
Mm-hmm.
there's no difference in happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because living in poverty, I mean, like sucks. And having no money sucks.
Oh yeah, it's terrible
But-
times.
Yeah, but at the same time, you get to a point where having more money doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah, because I
terms of-
remember seeing just the headline to a article was like getting more money increases happiness to a point, and then it's just there's no amount of more money you get does anything to make you happy. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, you could pay your bills without any troubles, and then you start, and then it's like, oh, that's it. You no
Yeah.
longer worry. You know.
yeah, because I remember living at my parents when I was doing YouTube and just like constantly like, man, if I could just make this a living, I'd be so happy. I could do like. I could do this for a living, and like I'd visualize it, and just like every morning I'd go for a walk and listen to motivational speeches and stuff, and like, and then I'm like, well, here I am, but I don't feel any different.
Yeah, you can daydream. It's like, oh, if I made more money, I could get a pool, and I would be able to lounge in my
Yeah.
pool. And it's like,
Yeah.
but that doesn't. Once you get your pool, you're like, okay,
Well,
I have a
then-
pool now.
yeah.
Now I have to take care of the pool.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
more
to-
responsibility.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
it's more like an illusion of potential happiness when it's like those things don't really bring you happiness. It's just
No.
distractions.
It's I've heard people describe it as like from our hunting gathering days. It's like hunting. We're like hunting for the next thing.
Yeah,
But people say if you want to be happy, then you got to be happy the here and now.
Yeah.
Like what you have now, because you might be happy if something good happens for a little bit, but then after a while, it's so
yeah. There's only so much it can do.
yeah.
So basically, if you're in a space where you're like, but if I had more money, I'd be able to pay my bills, you will be happier.
Yeah.
There's no contesting that.
Right.
If you're like living paycheck to paycheck, scraping by on dimes, then yeah, you would definitely be happier. We're not going to sit here and make any kind of qualm about that. Trust me. But if you're going, oh man, I can pay my bills comfortably. Now, if only I could get that sweet ski-doo, then you probably don't need the ski-doo.
Well, a lot of people have bill issues because of their pursuit of happiness, thinking that, oh, if I buy a new car,
That's true.
I'll be happier. If I buy a bigger house, I'll be happier. So sometimes it's self-inflicted, you know? So
Not realizing it, I guess. Like,
yeah, just thinking like, oh, I get this new fast car. I'll be so happy with this thing. And then after a week, you're like, nah. And then now you got to pay for it for 5 years or whatever the more loan is.
yeah. Oof, don't do that.
Yeah. So
Never. Also, I don't know. Maybe it's because we live in the city and I just don't get the like having a car that much because we don't have one right now because we don't need one. But I'm like, if we got a car, we would want to try. Like we would try to get a hybrid of some kind. Like I don't need a super cool fast car. And on all honesty, I want a car that's fuel efficient.
yeah.
It saves
I've always
me
been
money.
like that though.
Yeah.
Never I've never been one of those car guys, though. I really like Teslas,
Though,
but they're so expensive.
yeah, but they're also super intuitive, and they can drive themselves. They're electric,
Yeah,
like those are like cutting edge vehicles. Like it makes sense that like I don't care for shit about cars either. Elon Musk is whatever. He's Musky, I guess, because that's in his name. Like I don't have any ill will towards the dude. I mean, I don't like that he has lots of money because I don't like people who are rich.
yeah, but he's not like one of those rich guys that just constantly trying to get richer.
That's true. But I still don't like any rich people. There are three people I'm biased against: the rich, the boomers, and the children.
Jeez, man, it's a small bubble of people you approve of.
Look, I don't like children, I don't like boomers, and I don't like rich people. Boomers and rich people kind of go hand in hand, so that one's
they
easy.
kinda overlap.
That circle's a Venn diagram, thankfully.
Except Musk is Generation Y, I believe.
That's fine. But he's rich, so get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure his life is not easy
Yeah,
because he's
probably
rich.
not. But
Just managing all his shit, and
yeah,
I don't envy the rich. You know,
I don't either. I just want more money to where I don't have to worry about our bills anymore.
Right. Yeah,
And
I mean,
student debts.
look at like Shark Tank.
Oof.
And see all those people. It's like literally.
If we
all
get
they
the
care about is-
$700,000 we need, we'll be successful. Well, you won't have to worry about anything. It's like you're gonna have to worry about a lot after that.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Well, I'm just talking about the people, the rich people on it.
Oh, okay, I thought it was.
They live just for money, man.
God, I hate it.
It's an empty life. Like, cause like you get a bunch of money and then you're like, well, now what? Well, I got to make more money.
Ugh,
You know, there's no end to it.
I don't want to make more money. I mean, I do, but it's not because I want to make more money. It's because I don't want to have to worry about saving for retirement or
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how. To make a lot of money, you have to work really hard,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just not worth it. I mean, seriously, your health is worth more than the
True.
stress of any
But-
kind of like. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time.
That's true. It's just our thing is we have to worry about Allie's student debts because.
Well, I'm not talking about you guys. You
I know.
I'm talking about like.
I'm making it personal right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna take what you're saying and use it as a personal front against my character.
Like, I totally get like working hard to pay off bills. Like, there's a difference between, okay, you made $1 million. Now what are you gonna do? Oh, work even harder to try to make 500 million. Like, come on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I was more talking about. It's just like you got to get to a point where you're like, okay, this is enough.
Okay. Yeah,
But-
I get that.
Or maybe making money makes you happy. So more power to you. I don't know.
I feel like anybody who says that shouldn't be trusted. It's just, all right, you lizard person. Fucking
Yeah.
Zuckerberg. I love that you could say his name like you could say Dinkelberg from Fairly Odd Parents. Zuckerberg.
I don't get it. I don't get the Zuckerbergs of this world.
The people that are like, or like Jeff Bezos, where he's like, oh, look how much money I have. I'm going to make more money, so I'm not paying my
Yeah.
workers. It's like,
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. If I was Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos, as soon as I'm probably like half a billion, I was like, I'm stepping away from this. I'm done. I don't know why. I mean, he goes through the headache of running this company. Let someone else take over. You got your money.
I don't know if that it's a headache for him anymore because you just hire people to do what you were supposed to do. And that a lot of CEOs are kind of just figureheads that have power that they don't do anything with. They just branch
Well, I
all of
get
those
that.
jobs off to other people.
But I'm sure they do a lot. And like, look at Zuckerberg when he was getting interviewed and stuff, or whatever.
Where he's like, oh yes, I drink water like a normal human.
I mean, I wouldn't want to have to go through that. I'd just be like, I'm stepping away. I think Zuckerberg has $50 billion. Just take it and just buy an island and I don't know.
I don't
do hobbies like fuck.
I don't know.
It's like they want to leave a legacy behind, but it's like, dude, you realize the human race eventually is going to die out and all our history is going to be forgotten. None of this fucking matters.
Especially with how quickly we're just polluting the planet.
Yeah, I mean, even if we weren't, like, eventually some crazy universe thing's going to happen.
That's
and
true.
We're just going to die and people are going to forget about us. And, you know.
I'm just thinking towards the more near future where I'm like, hey, you could use, like, I don't know, half that money. Maybe make more solar panels for everywhere or something. I don't know.
Hey,
crazy
Musk
idea.
Tried to do that,
When?
He tried when Puerto Rico got hit by the hurricane. He was going to try to help rebuild them up with solar panels. But I think they didn't want it, or it just didn't pass or something. Of course, it's like, well, what about the oil companies?
It's like, what do you care about oil companies for?
Because they're paying them.
I mean, oh god, I hate oil. I hate it.
I don't hate it, but like,
oh, I hate it.
I just don't see the argument of like why you don't want to, like, people don't want to push clean energy, because even if you don't believe in global warming, it's like, well, don't you want a nice environment to live in? Like not breathing in pollution.
Since working in the warehouse back in when I still lived in Georgia, I am under the assumption that for whatever reason, higher up bosses and managers and stuff do not want to take short-term losses for long-term gains and would much rather continue on the path of short-term success with moderate long-term than short-term loss, long-term gain.
Yeah.
As long as they possibly can until it starts to become against the law. Because in the warehouse, I'm going to be very vague about this because I don't know if the story is true or one of the employees just saying it because they were upset. The owner did not give out health insurance originally until he had a kid. And then he was like, oh, I understand why people want health insurance. And that's some bullshit. To not say, hey, if you work for this company as an employee, you get health insurance in a hot-ass warehouse that does not get any climate control in the dead of summer in Georgia.
Yeah.
Where they have to work next to these giant fucking ovens that are 110 plus degrees at all times, sometimes higher than that, like 140, 50 degrees. So on the outside, it's 100 degrees, 98, 99, humid as shit. And on the inside, it's going to be hotter because all they have are fucking fans. And you're like, I don't think these people need health insurance when people are literally collapsing.
Oh, Jesus.
Because it's like, oh, like as like a supervisor, all you can do is like, hey, make sure you bring water. But you can't make people drink water.
Yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't up until the owner had a kid that he started giving out health insurance to employees. And then on top of that, fucking my boss at the time, like my direct boss, the manager of the production area, took it upon himself to come in and rearrange the production floor to make it flow more efficiently. And no one else did that because they were like, oh, it'd be a lot of work. And it's like, what world do we live in where you're like, oh, that's too much work. We set everything up, and even though it's shitty and inefficient, we shouldn't go and fix it. Even though in the long term, it would make everything better. Like, I'm just under the impression that that's just the mentality of higher ups, is that they don't want short-term loss for long-term gain. So it's like, why would I invest in solar panels even though I know that they're better for the long term of literally everything when we can just do oil? Because right now I'm making money with oil.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
That's like, I don't understand the mentality because it's like, but you could put more later. And it's like, yeah, but more now sounds good. I'm like, I guess. What the hell?
short-sighted.
It's dangerously short-sighted, as we
Yeah.
are coming to learn about the planet.
Yeah, I mean, money is king, and people don't like change. People don't like learning new things, having things. I don't know. Just I'm a big advocate for clean solar panel energy,
Like fucking.
and there are
energy.
consequences to. I mean, it's not perfectly clean. Like there are negatives. Like Tesla, yeah, there's no emissions, but they still have to build the cars,
Yeah.
which requires resources. The batteries, they have to go mining for lithium. Like,
Yeah.
it's not perfect.
And then to
But-
charge, you use electricity unless it has a solar panel built into it. You have to go to a charging station, which is most likely charged with the electricity in the city, and most cities still use, would you
Yeah.
know it, oil and fossil fuels.
And also, we should have more nuclear. I think nuclear is very powerful.
It is, but I
Um,
think the health risks, considering like for meltdowns and stuff, is the reason why nuclear never saw like really big
Yeah.
advancements past like the 50s.
You just got to have more like regulation and double check everything. And,
True, but
but because it's really because freaking aircraft carriers, U.S. aircraft carriers use nuclear,
Oh.
and they don't have to refuel for like every, I think it's like 20 years.
Jesus.
It lasts 20 years of not having to refuel, but they have to get food.
Yeah.
Get food and stuff. So they do have to.
No, they stay out to sea for 20 years.
They have their own garden.
They have an octopus's garden.
Yeah, I don't want to. I want to make sure that's. I don't know if that's right, so don't quote me on it. But I remember it's like really long. Maybe it could be either 2 years or 20 years. But
I just hope you start to Google it and you're like, oh, there's no nuclear reactors in these things at all, or something like that.
I don't know.
And so, like T-Rex will probably tweet at you, aircraft carriers have nuclear in them. 2019 pixelated Apollo. Just- look, I thought I saw a thing. God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This got to a place that I didn't expect. We always do that when we're like, oh, I don't know where what we're going to talk about, and then it ends in a spot where we're like, I don't know how we got to the climate change again. Gonna just rename the podcast to, hey, we're talking about climate change. Don't know how we got here again.
Yeah.
it just comes back full circle every single time, and I don't know how. Because I think the last three, it's happened.
Yeah, a lot of the ships are nuclear powered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll
I mean,
take
I know
that.
they're nuclear powered. I'm just not sure how long they can go without it needing more fuel or
Yeah.
whatever.
I'll take that, Reddit.
Yeah, take that, Reddit.
I don't really have anything else. We talked about games. We talked about random. I don't got anything else. Do you have anything on your chest that you would like to get off?
No, I think that's everything.
Are you sure? You got an alien. You should probably knock that off
I'm an alien?
on your chest.
Oh, well, I'm dead then. Are you talking about the alien that pops out of your chest?
God, I hope not, because those things give me nightmares. I accidentally saw part of that movie when I was a child and haven't had nightmares or have had nightmares since then about them.
I heard something like, whatever. I'm not going to talk about it.
No, go ahead.
I just don't know. I keep again. Didn't the movie Alien, wasn't it shot and then completely reshot again, and the only thing they kept was the alien popping out of the chest? That's what I heard,
I
but
don't know, actually.
it's not really important. See, it's just like,
It's just an interesting tidbit of info
Yeah.
if it's true.
yeah, if it's true.
Yeah. I don't think
just gonna
so, because the shot where in the very first Alien where it bursts out of that guy's chest, well, I guess if they didn't change it, then that would make sense. I was going to say, when that happens, they didn't tell anybody but the guy who was that it was happening to, like, what the scene was about somehow. I don't know how this happened. movies in the 70s, 80s times were weird, where they're just like, hey, we're going to do this scene. Well, what's going to happen in it? You guys are eating at a bar. And then it's like, oh, my chest hurts. And then everybody was like, because apparently the trivia factoid is like, they didn't know that was the thing was going to burst out of his chest. And that's why everybody looks so shocked when it happens. But I'm like, how
Here's what I found.
that I don't know how you convince, like, after a certain point, you're like, oh, this is a part of the movie because that's not real. So I'm like, I don't know. My brain has a hard time believing that little trivia factoid, but I mean, supposedly that's what happened. So if they reshot the entire movie except that scene, then that makes sense. Like, that still fits, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I've never heard that before, and at least not about the first movie.
I think I heard it on Red Letter Media.
Because I know Alien 3 is all kinds of fucky. Like, that movie went through so many reshoots, and the original one was about the aliens coming to Earth, and, like, that didn't happen. Like, the very first trailer talked about how they were coming to Earth, and then that isn't what the movie's about at all. It's on a prison planet where they have no guns. It's like,
Yeah.
like it. So I don't know. I know that movie was all kinds of fucked behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Saved by editing, like Star Wars.
Most people would say it wasn't saved by editing, but
Wait, the first Alien?
no, the
Or are you
third
talking-
one.
Third one. Okay.
Yeah, most people regard that one as not good.
Trash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not trash, but not good. Alien Resurrection, that's trash
Oh no.
because that's the fourth one.
Jesus.
It jumped the shark bad. But yeah, I know too much about these movies for someone who has terrible nightmares about the creatures in them.
Yeah, but they're not real.
They're
Or
not,
are
but
they?
in my dreams they feel like
Could
they are.
be real.
God, I hope not. If they are real, I'm just gonna end it. I don't care. If at one point they're like, yeah, some weird occurrences are happening out in the country, people with giant gaping holes in their chests, I'm like, I guess that's it.
It's over, boys.
I'm not gonna live through this because I'm scared enough as it is. Where's the sharpest knife in this house?
Oh God.
I'm just
That's
gonna,
how you do it.
I got nothing else to do it with.
Yeah. Spy a gun.
I'm
All right. Anyways, that was dark. Okay. So
gonna buy a gun and one bullet. It's for me. Gonna get my initials engraved on it.
unless you know, what if your wife wants to go with you?
Two bullets.
Okay.
Or one bullet and we stand next to each other.
What if it like misses or something? You know,
Oh God.
or like partially hits you. All right, that's a good point to end this podcast.
It's a weird place to go. Oh man. I'm just gonna title this episode. This one gets dark. That's it. So how's Josephine?
She's good.
Has it been storming a lot there? I remember
Yes.
hearing thunder a lot through your microphone.
It's been raining a lot here. I don't know why. I think 2018 has been the second wettest year ever in Georgia.
Oh wow. Wait,
So it's still
18 or 19? Like, is it just
well
continuing?
2018, but it's like continuing
Oh,
through.
okay, it's continuing. Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's been getting better.
Mhm.
Like we had 3 days in a row of sun, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's rainy today. So
Gross. But she's
feel-
doing all right. She's not like freaking.
yeah,
out.
she's no, she's fine. She's doing good. And it's getting warmer, which is good.
Yeah.
for her.
Not getting warmer here. It snowed 2 days ago.
Ugh,
It's terrible.
that sucks.
I think it's supposed to. Oh no, it's not supposed to snow again. Thank Christ.
Well, it actually did get very cold. I think we both experienced the same cold front. You just got it worse. Like below freeze. It was below freezing in Georgia.
It was 0 degrees up here at one point.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I think the lowest it got here was like 26. But like I remember a couple days ago, I walked out and Josephine's water bowl was completely frozen. I was like,
Oh, wow.
holy crap! Yeah.
Crazy.
So
Also, I just got a text that my graphics card got to King Scourge.
Nice.
So hopefully he gets that because it's on his front porch. If you somehow listen to this before getting your graphics card, it's on your front porch, King Scorch. Go now. It would be weird.
Certainly
if you
hope
did.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That would be bad.
Yeah, he gets home
I
from
didn't get
work.
anything.
I didn't get anything. Oh, no. But yeah, all right. That's the Polishing Podcast. Sorry for getting a little dark with the suicidal things. I'm just not going to live in a world with those aliens in it. That's all.
That's all. That's all.
That's
and
it.
Look, it's probably never going to happen, so come on.
Not in my lifetime. I'll assure of that. I'll make
Well, maybe
damn
a
sure.
Maybe a day in your lifetime. The last day.
The last day of my lifetime. But after that point,
Just get home, turn on the news. Aliens are here. All right, sweetie.
we prepared for this day.
Yeah.
I mean, not any aliens, just those specific ones. Or ones
Okay.
like them.
Well, those specific aliens are here. I mean, I would try to fight a little bit.
Nah. Because they either kill you outright or they knock you out so they can impregnate you and then that shit bursts through your chest. I ain't having it.
Well.
Yeah. Nah. That's a bunch of
You know what's gross though is like in the insect world that happens.
Oh, God. I'm so glad
There's
I'm
like
not an insect.
a wasp
Yeah.
that will put their eggs into a spider,
Mm-hmm.
and the spider will keep on living until they hatch, and the babies eat the spider.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of inspiration for that alien is like insect stuff. And
Yeah,
then,
of course. Yeah.
the artist that designed it, H.R. Geiger, is known for very, like, almost like grossly sexual things, which is why the aliens like second.
Slimy?
Well, yeah, slimy, but it's also very phallic looking, like the head and the second mouth.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's supposed to like gross you out on a sexual level as well.
yeah.
Anyway, this is,
Is that why there's alien dildos?
I don't think that's why, but I think that's just humans being weird. That's just, you know,
we are weird. We are very weird.
we see things that are roughly shaped in like oval patterns and we're like, I want to put it inside me. This is...
Oh, God. Let's end this. It's just getting worse. Please.
Anyway, yeah. But one last caveat. I was just like, if we do find aliens, as long as they're not like those ones, I'd stick around. I wanna meet some nice aliens if they're nice, which I hope they are.
Good luck.
Right?
Accidentally summon me.
Yes. It's fucking Siri. Did you accidentally summon me? But anyway, that's the Polishing Podcast. It got weird. But yeah, I always forget to do this on the top, but if you want to somehow support the podcast, rate and review it on iTunes, that always helps. Spread it around with your friends. You can tell them to look for it on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, or the Podbean app if you want to do that as well. I'm Nico, otherwise known as Nico All Powerful. Trent.
Oh, is this? Oh, okay.
I'm just passing
I'm-
it to you.
I'm Apollo, also known as Pixelated Apollo.
And YouTube.
YouTube.
That's about it
Yeah.
right now, isn't it? YouTube,
DLive.
Twitter. Oh, DLive. God,
DLive.
we really just got going and didn't even think about any of the social
Yeah.
media things.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, nobody cares. Who listens?
Nobody.
To this?
Nobody fucking cares anyway.
Nobody listens to this podcast
Except for our moms.
except for our moms, T-Rex, and Martin. That's it.
Yeah.
And Lawrence is sad, which I hope one day he's no longer sad.
I hope we get to that point.
I hope we make it to where Lawrence is no longer sad, and that's it. After that, the podcast is over.
We're done. Our purpose in life is to make Lawrence happy.
Okay, well, this
Shout out
trash
to
fire
the
is done. I hope you have a great weekend and/or week, depending on when you listen to this. And God bless.
Stay clean, stay polished.